Welcome to Design Mart, and thank you for watching this video on Design Mart's color kit fills as they're used with Gimp. This video will show you how to export drawings from two popular programs, Gerber Omega and Corel Draw. However, you may also export files from many other programs to color in Gimp. These are just the two that I'm familiar with. The first thing we'll do is install Gimp. It's a powerful photo editing application, very similar to Photoshop, PhotoPaint, other photo editing applications. To install it, locate the program on your disk or flash drive containing your color kit fills, and once you're in the Gimp folder, you'll notice the exe file here that installs the program. Just double click on that, or you can right click on it and click open or run as administrator, and from there you'll have to answer a few questions, but it's just like installing any other program. Feel free to pause the video and install Gimp now if you'd like. Okay, before we begin coloring a monument, I'll show you how to prepare your files in two programs that I'm familiar with, Gerber Omega and Corel Draw. In both cases, you'll want to treat the fill and lines in special ways so that your drawings will fill properly with the color kit fills. First, let's take a look here. I've opened Gerber Omega. This is version 6.5. Your version may be newer, maybe older, doesn't matter. Your tools may be in slightly different locations, but all the functionality that you need is there. You may have to search for a tool if you don't see it. But your help menu can assist you in locating any tools that you have trouble finding. Most of us, first of all, why don't we go ahead and open. If you don't have a drawing that you want to use, there's a sample drawing right here in the Gimp folder. You'll see a sample drawings folder, double click that, and you'll see a D1473 right here that you can use. We'll use that for purposes of this illustration. Just open that. Now, most of us are accustomed to viewing our monuments in Gerber in wireframe view, which you just click view, and I'm looking at it in wireframe. However, let's take a look at what we have in fill view by clicking view and then filled. So one thing you'll want to do first is select everything with your selector tool. And then, regardless of what color you have, you can change everything to white by clicking the white vinyl assignment tool down here at the bottom, which will give everything a white background, a white monument on a clear background, and that'll be helpful when we go to fill with granite. You can also check your fill tool right here on the bottom left of my toolbar. On the left side of the screen is where mine's located, and you can check none, clear, solid there, or you can use it as we just did at the bottom of the screen. So now, while everything's selected, you'll also want to take a look at your stroke. This is your line thickness. This is going to be very important as we go to fill the monument. So check the stroke tool right here. It's at the bottom of my toolbar. And I want to be sure that all the lines are thin yet visible. So you want to be sure, instead of on fill, that you've got the second tab selected here. That's the stroke tab. You want to choose solid. And then you want to change the line from, I believe when I started off, mine was set at 0.005. The default is 0.050. So you want to change this to 0.005. Just add a 0 right there. And then leave the color as the default, which is black, and click OK. Now, you'll see that we've got lines now and a clear background. If you can't see all of the pieces of your monument, like I can see them here, then you can fix this by being sure that everything is selected. You may still have it selected from a moment ago. If you don't, just select it. You want to see the handles all the way around. And then click Arrange and Combine On. Now you're ready to click File, Save As, and change the format from PLT, which is Gerber's native format, to JPEG. I've already saved one there. I'll just overwrite that. Place it. I'm putting it in my sample drawings folder, as you can see there, but you can place it anywhere you like, just as long as you can find it again later when you want to open it in Gimp. So I'll replace that file. And you want to, as you export, just leave all your defaults as they are. Leave it as an RGB color, leave the resolution at 75, everything the same. Just click OK. And that exports a JPEG file that we can open in Gimp. And before we go fill our monument we created here in Gerber Omega, I'll show the Corel Draw users how to prepare their monuments. Okay, with Corel Draw open, I'm using Corel 18 as mine. I'm sure yours is probably a little newer, but it's all the functionality is still there. So I'm going to locate in our sample drawings folder the D1473 CDR, and you can import other formats into Corel as well. This is just CDR is native to Corel Draw. So we'll open our drawing and use our zoom tool over here and right click to zoom out. That's what we have. Now we want to prepare the drawing for export. So first thing you want to do is click and drag with your pick tool and click and drag a box around everything. You can also go to Edit and select all objects, either way. So with everything selected, we want to clear all of our fill colors. So with everything selected, just click the X right up here at the top right, the selection of fill colors at the top right of your screen. I'll remove all the color. You may also do this by clicking the Paint Bucket Fill tool at the bottom of your screen and clicking the X right here, indicating you don't want to fill. Click OK. So with all the fill gone, we want to make sure that all of our lines are consistent for filling. So while everything is still selected, and you see the handles all the way around, double-click the Outline tool at the bottom of the screen. And you want to choose hairline if it's not already selected. And choose black as your color. It's probably already the default, but you just set that to black. OK at the bottom. And now let's export our JPEG. We just go to File, Export, and I'll change this to our sample drawings, and I'll add Corel. The other one is the one we made from Gerber. This one's from Corel. Doesn't matter. So just click File and Export after you name your file. And you want to choose your format down here. Be sure it's set on JPEG. So we're about to export a JPEG named D1473 Corel. And now remember where you're putting it. You don't have to save it here in sample drawings, but wherever you put it, just remember it. So when it's time to open it in Gimp, you can find it. So export down at the bottom right. And just leave all your defaults the way they are. Be sure that's RGB, and OK. And we're done. Now we're ready to go open Gimp and load some granite colors and textures and fill our drawing. Okay, so you should have already paused to install Gimp a while ago. If you haven't done that yet, you'll find information on installation at the beginning of the video. Just back up to that. Then you'll open Gimp just like you'd open any other program. Go view your apps and scroll down to G's, and here's Gimp right here. Okay, now before we can apply any granite textures, colors, litho, or paint to our monument, we'll need to load them into Gimp. This is quick and easy, and in this video I'll show you how to load granite color in 3 textures, 3 colors, and 3 textures for that color, as well as a litho or paint color. To load a granite color or texture, you'll just locate them on the flash drive or DVD that you received, or if you received your files electronically, you would already have them on your PC's hard drive, and you can locate them wherever you saved them. In this case, I'm going to upload gray granite in 3 textures: polish, frost or sandblast, and rock pitch. So I'll go to File, Open. I'll locate my Color Kit Gimp folder and the granite colors. I'll see here you may have a slightly different setup. You may have it in granite folder or something, but first I'll grab my gray polish, which is here. I'll double click that. I'll click Convert. And there's our polish. Then I'll go to Edit and Copy, and then Edit and Paste as New Pattern. I like to keep my names the same, so down here at the bottom of the screen you'll see Design Mart Gray Polish. So I'll name mine Design Mart Gray Polish, and the file name I'll keep it the same, Design Mart Gray Polish. I'll click OK, and you'll notice it just uploaded it to the top right corner as part of my patterns now. We no longer need this image, so you can click the X right up here at the top of the screen, close that image. We'll go and locate our granite frost and do the same thing with it. File, Open, Gray Frost. Convert. There it is. And then we'll Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste as New Pattern. And then we'll keep the file name the same as down here, Design Mart Gray Frost. So all we really need to do is change the last word. Design Mart Gray Frost. Okay. And it places it in our fills up here, and I'm going to close this image right up here. We don't need it anymore. I'll add one more texture, and that's our rock pitch. Go to File, Open, Gray Rock Pitch, and double click it. And click Convert. Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste as New Pattern. And our file name down here is Design Mart Gray Rock Pitch. Design Mart Gray Rock Pitch. Design Mart Gray Rock Pitch. Okay. And it just added it to our pattern fills at the top right corner. And now you can close that image. Now we'll load one of our litho colors or our paint colors. File and Open, and paint colors, and I'll locate dark gray. I prefer dark gray instead of black, so I'm going to load up dark gray, convert, and then same as before, edit, copy, and edit, paste as, new pattern. Down here, you can see the file name is Design Mart Paint Gray Dark. So I'll keep that same file name, Design Mart Paint Gray Dark. And I'll use the same name for the file itself, Paint Gray Dark. All right, click OK, and it has added it to our patterns, and I can close that image now. Okay, so we're ready to start coloring our monument. So we'll go to File and Open. We'll go to our sample drawings folder where we saved our JPEG a while ago, and we'll double click our D1473 JPEG or whatever monument you'd like to fill. And your zoom tool is right here. You just click and drag a box around what you want to zoom in on. And there you go. We've got nice lines. Everything's closed. All the points are closed. If you, I'll show you what happens if you have an open line. You're going to run into some problems. To zoom out with your zoom tool, all you do is hold down your control key and left click, and it'll zoom out for you like that. And then you can use these little bars at the bottom and slide that one, and there's a bar over here on the right. So first thing to do, let's grab our paint bucket fill tool and pick our polish, and we'll click right here in the center of the monument, and it'll fill everything with polish. I'll click in the center of that A. Here's what happens if you did not close all your points when you were creating your CAD file. Let's create a little hole here. Even if it's a tiny hole, you're going to run into some problems. With our paint bucket, we want to polish the inside of this R, but instead the entire letter filled with polish. So we want to be sure that all of our points are closed. You don't have to close points, but visually they have to be all one contiguous line. So we'll polish that. Go back to our zoom tool and hold down our control key. So left clicking, we zoom out, and I'm going to polish a couple of other little areas right quick with go back to my paint bucket tool. I've still got my polish loaded, so I'll polish these little beveled areas right here and the polish margin on the base. Now I'll take my zoom tool and I'll zoom in on an area where I want to sandblast or apply frosted finish. So with my paint bucket tool selected, I'll click my frost, and as long as all my points are closed, everything will be fine. And I'll grab my slider, click and drag down. I want to go ahead and add some frost down here in the bottom and also over here on the side. And go back up to check to be sure I got everything. No, I didn't. We'll go here, 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 here. And a little piece right there. All right. So now we're ready. I know a lot of people like to use paint. I'm not a big fan, but here's that we loaded our paint earlier. So we'll grab, with our paint bucket tool selected, we'll grab our litho or our paint, and we'll fill in the darker areas of the monument. I'm going to zoom in so that it's easier for me to pick these little areas right here with my crosshair. And I missed an area or two with some frost in it, so I'll reload that. Okay, let me zoom out. Control key, left click, click. Little spot right here. I'll reload my paint and grab my paint bucket tool and right there. And then I'll control left click with my zoom tool and zoom out. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to frost. I don't think I'll paint these letters dark gray. I'm going to frost them, I think. So just put the crosshair right there on the letter. Okay, and then zoom tool, control key down, holding it, minus, I will left click. All right, so now rock pitch is the last thing to do, so I'll get my paint bucket and get my gray rock pitch and click right there. All right, and we're done. All we have to do now is just save it, and I like to save mine as JPEG or a PNG. We'll save it as JPEG first. So otherwise, if you just do save, it's going to save it as an XCF format. I prefer JPEG or PNG, so I do an export. I do file, and then export as. And I have JPEG chosen right there, so I'm going to name it D1473. I'll call this one color JPEG to differentiate it from the JPEG we had a while ago. So once I'm done with my file name, I hit the enter key, and you just go with all your defaults will be fine. And export. And there you go. Now, at this point, your image is still quite large. We exported it from Corel Draw and Gerber at its original size. So, emailing such a large image can be problematic, so we'll want to create a smaller version to email, print out, or paste into a contract. And to make the image smaller, just click at the top of your screen here on Image, and then Scale Image. You'll want to probably change the units here from pixels to inches. And you'll see that with the base and everything, it's 68 inches wide, but we've got a nice, big, clear image to work with. But for purposes of emailing a proof or including it in a contract or something like that, we want to make it smaller. So we're going to change that from 68 inches wide to 8 inches wide. And we'll just click and drag across the width field and use our keyboard to type in an 8 inches wide. That'll fit on a sheet of paper, no problem. And then you click in the height box right here, and you'll notice that it changed automatically. It's going to be about 5 inches tall now. Resolution, just leave all this as it is. You can play with that if you want to. You can up the resolution and keep it clearer, sharper, but your byte size is also going to be larger too, which can be problematic when you go to email it. So now just click scale down here at the bottom and it'll change it for you. And it made a smaller image, an 8-inch image. So I'm going to get my zoom tool here and zoom in on that. And now I'm going to export it again. This time I'm going to export this smaller size with a different file name so I'll know that this is my small one, the one I want to email. So I'll go to File and Export As, and I'll call this one D1473 Color, and I'll just call it Small JPEG. And press, when I'm finished naming the file, just press the Enter key, and then leave all your all the defaults as they are, and just click Export at the bottom. There you go. Now that one is a nice size that you can email to someone or put into a contract or a document to print out. So you may have noticed that some backgrounds came with the color kit. So let's go through that process of, if you want to dress up your rendering a little bit, you can open from the background folder. We'll open background 10 and click convert, and then we'll go over here to top corner and go back to our monument, and then we will click edit and copy and go up here to our background, and then we will click edit and paste. Now you don't want that white background around your monument, so let's undo that, and let's go back to the monument by clicking right up here on the monument image. So go get your fuzzy select tool. This is a mask tool. Click that and click in the white space around your monument, and then hold down your shift key and you'll see a plus sign appear near the fuzzy select tool, and hold down your shift key and click the tool. Now you've got the white selected over here on the left and the white selected on the right. Now you want the monument to be selected, so let's invert that selection. So we'll go to Select and come down to the third item, which is Invert. Now the monument is the thing that's selected. So let's go to Edit and copy what's selected, and then click on our background, and then Edit and Paste. Now you've got it pasted in there with no background around it, which is very helpful. And you can then save this, export this as a JPEG that you can put in the into a contract, or you can email it away. So we go Export as JPEG. We'll put this in our let's see, I'll put this in my background. Let's see, I'll put this in my sample drawings folder for now, and I'll call it D1473 on background. And enter, and well, I'll need to put JPEG after it, so JPG. Okay. And then press enter. Alright, leave all the defaults as they are is okay, and click export. And you're done. Now you've got something that you can, all these, by the way, are 8 by 10. So you could take that image and center it on an 8.5 by 11 page and still have a little bit of white margin around it, just in case your printer isn't set up to print all the way to the edge of the page. So that should be helpful too, that this is 8 by 10 and not actually 8.5 by 11. So that's a little bit about GIMP and how to use it to color your work. Hope this has been a helpful video, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.